Well, good morning and welcome to 755 Live, about 5 minutes of what Jesus said. And if you know me, it's kind of amazing that I can keep it to 5 minutes. I try. It sometimes goes a little over. But you can find a different command of Jesus at our weekday Bible plan at bible.today.church. Some resources there also to read the Bible together and just learn the commands of Jesus so that we can obey them. He said to go make disciples by teaching them to obey all the things that I command. Well, we can't obey if we don't know what Jesus said. And so that's the point behind these 755 Lives. If this is meaningful to you, it really helps if you like it, if you share it on social media. It makes a big difference. So appreciate all of the comments and likes and shares. Today's Jesus Said is something that is kind of easier to read than it is to put into practice. Jesus said, love your enemies. This comes from a couple of passages we're going to read today. Matthew 5, 44 through 45. We'll start there. But I say, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. In that way, you will be acting as true children of your Father in heaven, for he gives his sunlight to both the evil and the good, and he sends rain on the just and the unjust alike. Luke 6, 27 and 28, Jesus says something similar. But to you who are willing to listen, I say, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who hurt you. Love your enemies. Really? I mean, do you know how bad my enemies are? Do you know how bad all those people are? The books that we just read from Matthew and Luke, the original documents that we have from those are in the Greek language. And in Greek, there are several different words for love. Jesus uses the word agape here to talk about loving your enemies. It's the highest kind of love. It's the God-like love. You know, he could have said, treat your enemies like friends, and he used another Greek word, but he said, agape your enemies. How in the world can we actually obey this command? Well, what is the opposite of love? Hate, which leads to anger, judgment, condemnation, comparison, even disgust. You ever feel any of that for an enemy? Well, I can hear it now because a lot of people say this. Well, Jesus got angry. He turned over the tables in the temple. He drove them out with a whip. Well, first of all, those were religious people that he was angry with, not sinners. And we can say, I have righteous indignation. Really? Do we? Well, first of all, angry is easy. And if we use Jesus as an excuse to justify our anger, well, we need a higher standard than that. Yeah, Jesus got angry. But he was also God in the flesh. He walked on water. He raised the dead. He opened blind eyes. So let's do those things. And then maybe we can talk about our righteous anger. Jesus died for the sins of the world too, but that's not what we're supposed to do. We take up our cross daily to deny ourselves, to die to self. James 1:20 reminds us that human anger does not produce the righteousness God desires. What produces the righteousness that God desires? Obedience. So if Jesus said we should do it, that's not an option. It's our job. And here's a news flash. In order to really love our enemies, we have to actually love them. And it starts with denying ourselves and our own emotions and our own need to be right. Even letting anger go. It seems that everyone is so angry today. But disciples of Jesus are called to live by higher standards, by the rules of a heavenly kingdom. And if we only love those that we like, those that we agree with, those who have the same opinions as we do, if we only pray for and do good to those who are in our little club, if we only bless those that we agree with, well, we aren't like Jesus at all. We're just like everybody else. We need to be different. Let go of anger and judgment of others. If we should be angry and disgusted at anything, it should be our own sin, our own pride, our own selfishness. Jesus died for us anyway. In spite of our sin, shouldn't we live for him and love like he said to love? Love your enemies. Jesus said to do that. Agape, the highest kind of love. Who can I love today who isn't on my side? That's what Jesus said. How can we put that into action?